Hey everybody, it's Jamie Knox again with The Burning Sage, and this is video 3, the real video 3. And I'm really excited about this video today because these two poses that I'm going to talk about, no matter where you are in your practice, what level or whatever, these two poses are super beneficial and you can do them. So that's awesome. So they are cat-cow and child's pose. So cat-cow, first one. Weird name. All right, so I'm gonna have to back up and get onto my mat today. So for cat-cow, you wanna start off in a tabletop position. So this is where I like to use the blanket that you have in your class or at home and put it across your mat, sort of midway down the line, so that you can protect your knees if your knees bother you, if you have like a hardwood floor underneath your mat. Which really, you should. There are some yoga practices that are done on carpet, but most practices are going to be done on hard floors. Usually if they're done on carpet, you're not going to be doing a lot of pressing into the ground and things like that because the carpet's not as supportive as the hardwood floor. So for cat-cow, you're going to be in a tabletop position. So your knees will be on your blanket and your arms are going to be at the front of your mat. So your wrists should be in line with your shoulders. So first thing when you get there, check out that your wrists are in line with your shoulders. Check the creases of your wrists and make sure that they are in line with the mat, the front of the mat. So they should be facing the front of the mat. If you have any issues at this point, just turn your hands out to give you a little bit more support. Maybe your wrists are bothering you. And there are also other things we can do for that. First things first, you want to spread your fingers wide. So it's really important in yoga to really use all of your hands. So spread your fingers wide and then kind of cup your fingers a little bit so it releases the pressure on your wrists. So you're spreading them wide, cupping them a little bit. Now, at this point, if your wrists are still bothering you, you can come on to your fists until you build the strength to come onto your wrist or have your wrist down. And sometimes it's not a matter of strength also. Sometimes our skeleton is just different, and so it's not as comfortable to be on our wrists all the time. Sometimes we have injuries. I fell out of a tree when I was a kid, and it's taken a long time to try to get this wrist to be as strong as this wrist. So for my first year of yoga practice, I had to do a lot of stuff on my fists. All right, so your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Your fingers are spread wide. You're gripping the mat. Your knees should be underneath your hips. You can send your belly button to the sky, but melt your heart down in between your shoulder blades and send your shoulder blades back away from your ears. For cat-cow, you want to think of extension, and then you want to curve in. So as you inhale, you'll just extend. So lift your chin, lift your chest. It doesn't have to be this huge sway back thing, okay? Just extend. Send your shoulder blades away from your ears, lift your chest. As you exhale, starting with the belly button, send it towards the spine, round the back, and drop your head. And you keep moving that way with your breath. Inhaling, exhaling, let it start at the belly, curl the belly in, and drop your head. So that's a basic cat-cow, but cat-cow doesn't always have to be that way. You can do like a circular cat-cow. So you can find that maybe you want to extend out this way and then curve in, or this way and then curve in. The idea is to find space, and it's super good for your body. It's really good for your back. So anytime your back is bothering you, it is a great idea actually to drop the table and do some cat-cows. You're going to find lengthening. You're going to find a little bit of strength in your back. You're going to find strength in your arms. And you can do it enough to where you actually are raising your heart rate. The cool thing to do here is to really follow your breath. So remember from the last video, breath is super important, right? So can you do this pose and be connected to your breath the whole time? Maybe even try that Ujjayi breathing. So really let the breath start, then let the movement start. And then let the breath start again the other way and let the movement start again. And try it out. Okay, so child's pose. This will always be in your yoga class. And you can always go to this pose this asana, if you are uncomfortable, something doesn't feel right, if you're getting tired, this is a great place to relax. So there are a couple different variations. You can have your knees together, right? So you're going to be on your mat. So you can find tabletop, but put your knees together and your feet together and just sit your hips back. Your arms can be out in front of you or they can wrap behind you. And bring your forehead to the ground. If your forehead doesn't comfortably come to the ground, put a block, stack some books, whatever you want to do, underneath your forehead. So that's going to be lengthening for your whole back and it's going to be relaxing. If you want to focus on releasing your low back, have your toes together and your knees wide. So then when you sit your hips back, I'm going to scoot up a little bit. So when you sit your hips back, your belly, release your belly, don't clench it here, will come down between your legs and your arms can go out. Again, head forehead to the ground or to the block. So this is a pose that you're going to find if you need to rest. Also, if you need to turn inward. So what you're doing when you're bringing your forehead to the ground or to a block is you're stimulating that third eye chakra. And that's a really cool energetic place. So when you're pressing it into the ground or even rubbing your head on the ground, you're turning into your intuitive mind. And it helps you remember that you already have all the answers inside of you. They're right there in your intuition. So, I'll see you for the next video. Namaste.